Zee Entertainment that will be in the spotlight. As SEBI has issued the confirmatory order, they are going to complete the probe within the next 8 months, and they've barred Subhash, Chandra and Punit Goenka from holding any directorial or key managerial positions in Zee Entertainment and the group companies. Karan Taurani joins in from Elara Securities to give us his view on the same. And Karan, just going as per your last note, you had said that there isn't going to be too much of an adverse impact on the merger with respect to the SEBI order because Punit Goenka has already stepped down from the board. But just wanted to get in your thoughts on the fresh set of news.
Hi, morning. So if you look at this, I think the last time when SEBI sat came up with the statement, I think they had given a timelines of almost about 5 weeks to complete the process. Now, something would have come out in the probe, or some time would have been needed, for the investigation to be completed, which is why the timelines now are extended towards 8 months. Now, if you look at the current scenario, Mr. Punit Goenka is not on the board. He's also stepped down from day-to-day activities. And I don't foresee, Sony is going to wait for 8 months, for this probe to end. So I think for now, the merger will probably go through without him. And once we see an outcome in terms of, what is going to happen from his end, he might join back the company, or they might have some terms, with the Sony management. But for now, I think it's very clear that over the next 2 months, you'll see the merged entity being formed. And that's going to be without Mr. Punit Goenka.
So for a minority shareholder, what does this mean? I mean, this technically means that the merger will not go through, or in this case, the Goenka family will have to step down, perhaps resign, or they may not be involved in day-to-day matter because everybody wants the merger to go through.
Yeah, so as I said, there is no overhang because of this, for the merger, because Mr. Goenka has also come out in media and mentioned quite clearly that if at all, he needs to step down, if he needs to resign for the merger to go through, he will make sure that, that merger is not stalled, primarily because of his investigation. Both are different separate matters. The mergers between two entities and the matters related to the Goenka family only, not related to the merger. And now that they've got a very clean sheet NCLT approval without any kind of conditions around creditors or any condition around the SEBI SAT issue, I think the merger will eventually go through without him. And over a period of time, I think, he's already moved out of the board. He's already moved out of the day-to-day activities. He might be even asked to resign. And, post that, Sony will take over control. So I think in terms of shareholders, it's more of a neutral impact, because it's just that, Punit Goenka was supposed to be a CEO. They'll have to probably find a new CEO. There might be some transition time, 3 months, 6 months, because, someone else who's going to come and take over Zee will require some sort of time. But beyond that, I think there's nothing negative as such.
And for the merged entity, Karan, what kind of execution is it that you're expecting? What is it that, is the rationale behind that core business, broadcasting business valuation at about 20 times 1 year forward PE, according to you?
So I think if you look at this company, firstly, they'll become too large in the ecosystem. They'll have close to 25% ad market share. They'll have about, 25% viewership share as well, and plus a larger share on the subscription side as well. So I think they'll become quite large. They'll become number 2 as a player. That's one. Second thing is, a lot of corporate governance issues will kind of get resolved. You'll see better cash flows, for the entity. It will be MNC backed, right? So you'll have a lot of synergies as well from the MNC counterpart in terms of the technology, in terms of the expertise around OTT, which is like the very big thing. And I think, these things put together will lead to a better re-rating multiple, for the company. Last but not the least, I think the ecosystem is changing. Disney has clearly mentioned that they're looking for a partner, or they're looking to exit the linear TV business in India and globally. So if that were to be the case, I think, moving on to the number 1 position, if you look at Zee-Sony, the merged co, they're at number 2. But if at all there is some change in, Disney in a very big way, you could also see, Zee-Sony moving on to number 1. So I think there are ample triggers to play. And that is why we valued, the PE at 20 times for the broadcasting business.
Right. Okay, Karan, always great to have you on board and give your opinion on the markets, in fact, or rather on Zee and Sony, and how the latest news is going to impact the shareholders as well as the proceedings in the case.